In today's session, we're going to continue on the series on achieving breakthrough improvement and the implementation process to do that. And today's session is video number 13, where we're going to talk about dealing with disruptions to flow. So remember, operations goal is to create flow. So it doesn't matter what type of organization you are, the goal is to create flow. And so when we start creating flow, typically we're trying to synchronize the flow first to customer demand. And then while doing that, we're going to run into all types of disruptions that disrupt the flow. So the ability of the organization to deal with those disruptions and unblock the flow as fast as possible is going to help us to achieve our stability. That's what we're trying to drive towards first. And our first pillar here in our operational excellence house is a stable and capable delivery system. So we're still working on the stability. We'll talk about capability in later videos. So when we look at disruptions to flow, what I found is that we can classify those disruptions into one of three categories. It's either a synchronization issue, it's a capacity issue, or it's a variability issue. So the first step is to properly classify the problem. So many organizations don't classify the problem correctly, and then they take totally wrong actions. So first step is it a synchronization issue? So synchronization issue would be that where we have several things that need to come together and one thing is missing because somebody's trying to be efficient upstream and batch their work. And so that will cause a delay because everything that's needed to complete the next task is not available. So that's an example of a synchronization issue. A variability issue is that we have problems like minor stoppages or disruptions or machine breakdowns or people not showing up for work or we're missing tools or those missing materials. So those are all types of variability issues. And the third one is a capacity issue, which I don't see very often because the capacity is masked by the other two issues. So typically we have plenty of capacity. It's like we're dealing with problems and fighting fires and we're wasting capacity. So the third one is a capacity issue where we have things stabilized, things are functioning well, we just don't have enough capacity to meet the customer demand. And we're looking at the utilization of those resources to see if they're properly utilized. And if we have low utilization or low efficiency, then we want to focus on the capacity. But most times we're not looking at increasing capacity as a investment in time or money and to focus on the other two, synchronization and variability. So that's our session for today. When we're looking for disruptions to flow, understand what's causing that disruption, properly classifying that issue, properly applying the right techniques to solve that issue. So a lot of the lean tools and Six Sigma methodologies are great at solving those variability issues or synchronization issues. And then once we do that, then we're going to look for the next disruption. And of course, we want to put standard work in place to prevent those disruptions from happening. Last week's session, we talked about visual management. Visual management is an important tool to be able to see the disruptions of flow so we can take appropriate actions. So that's our session for today. Thanks for joining.